Coming up, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party has been officially canceled. Disney announces a new festival coming to Epcot the day it reopens. And as we speak, Disney's flying low over the empty theme parks in a mysterious gridded pattern. We've uncovered what exactly is going on there. All that and more on the way. This is Mickey Views News.
All who come to this happy place, welcome.
Now I'm the king of the swingers, oh, the jungle VIP. I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me.
Hello everyone, Brayden here. Welcome back to Mickey Views News. As you probably know, Walt Disney World has been closed now since mid-March, far and away the longest the parks have ever been closed in their history. They begin a phased reopening plan on July 11th with the Magic Kingdom and the Animal Kingdom reopening, and then Epcot and Hollywood Studios open a few days later on July 15th. You're going to need a reservation to get into the park. How that's all going to work, I'll bring you all the details right here, so stay tuned for that. And while we've been waiting for the parks reopening, Disney has not been letting the empty parks go to waste. During this last month before the parks go back to having guests in them all day, it looks like Disney is taking advantage by getting some guest-free aerial footage of the parks. Blog Mickey reported Disney would be flying over the parks through this weekend, getting what Disney called reference footage. And the reason we know this is because at Walt Disney World, there's a perpetual TFR, a temporary flight restriction, no-fly zone over the Magic Kingdom, and its radius also extends partially into Epcot. This makes it so you can't fly close to the ground over the world's most visited theme park, and even Disney has to get approval to fly inside that airspace, which they did this week. So at first we thought this was to capture footage, which is exciting enough on its own. I'd love for us to get some new aerial video to show here. Disney's rapidly painting that rose gold castle we broke news of right here months before anyone else in Disney's announcements. But then a helicopter was spotted over the Magic Kingdom, and this is what we saw. Now, looking at this, I thought, that doesn't look like a camera Disney usually uses. Usually they have a video camera that's on a gimbal mounted on a helicopter, so you get that nice, stable, swooping motion to the camera footage that looks really nice. Taking a look at the flight path, for almost 2 hours, Disney flew low over the Magic Kingdom in what looks to be a gridded pattern. And this is when I realized Disney's not filming a video, they're 3D mapping the park. Because looking at that device on the helicopter, it looks like something you'd use to scan terrain. Rumored for the iPhone 12 is a LiDAR sensor where your phone will send and receive signals, and given how fast they return to your phone, you can make a depth map of the environment you're in. That's what that sensor actually does. And similar technology is already used with Face ID with a dot projector in those phones. And after hours and hours of people searching for this device, Blog Mickey found it. This is what was mounted on the helicopter Disney was flying low over the Magic Kingdom, an aerial LiDAR survey R&D device. So what this allows Disney to do is get a complete 3D digital map of their parks by flying low over them. Disney's flying over more parks today, doing the same gridded flyover pattern. Now you might be wondering, if Disney is 3D mapping the parks, why? Well, sources with knowledge of this situation say it might be for an app feature that'll be coming soon, presumably meaning perhaps like on Google Maps, soon we might have a 3D map of Walt Disney World inside the My Disney Experience app, made especially for Walt Disney World with this LiDAR data that's taken close up in ultra-fine detail as compared to the less detailed 3D photogrammetry available on those regular map apps. Also, just an idea, internally Disney could use a map like this to take an existing park and edit it inside of a computer, calculate the sight lines with future park additions, new rides, things like that, being able to do all of that without ever having to leave their desk. Although Reverse Imagineering on Twitter pointed out that for Imagineering, they would likely use stationary LiDAR on the ground for architectural uses, so it'd be a little bit more accurate. Of course, Disney works with manufacturers and firms all the time to help bring new park additions to life, so having a model like that could be used for all sorts of things like planning and putting together blueprints perhaps. Maybe we'll see this in Disney's upcoming Disney Genie app Disney announced last year, where you'll be able to fine-tune your vacation plans as they are happening, and Disney will give you recommendations on things to do and all of that. Some people have said that project might be canceled, but if anything, because of this new Disney reservation system we're about to get, it could just mean Disney Genie isn't coming out till later, when Disney returns to some semblance of normalcy where they can use an app like that, in which case we're probably talking about next year for Disney Genie. That would be my prediction there. Maybe we'll see this LiDAR map used inside of that augmented reality room Imagineering Reopening has. My only request is Disney take those models, 3D print them, paint them, and sell them in the parks because I would likely buy it. Moving on to a bit more pressing info, today we did find out Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is canceled for this year. Disney said, quote, "We determined that many of its hallmarks, stage shows, parades, and fireworks are unavailable to take place in this new unprecedented environment. With that in mind, we have made the difficult decision to cancel this year's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party." Now, I don't know about you guys, but I thought this was a pretty interesting announcement for Disney to make, in that Halloween isn't close. We don't know what the situation will be like by the time Halloween rolls around. I'd imagine some of these restrictions that are going to be in the parks when they open, they may not exist for long, some of them. But you have to remember, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party starts so early these days, and Disney's already been selling tickets, and they don't even know if they're gonna be able to make good on that event. So once you think about all that, it makes sense that Not So Scary would be canceled. Just a free idea for Disney to use, perhaps closer to the actual holiday, like the actual Halloween, not all of September and October. Maybe if the situation is such where you can put on some sort of small party, maybe there can be some sort of short notice, very limited time Halloween event that's right around the actual holiday itself in the Magic Kingdom at the end of October, which could feature some of the hallmarks from the Not So Scary Halloween Party. Of course, if the conditions allowed for that. Let me know what you guys think about that idea, doing like more of like a short run, limited edition Not So Scary Halloween Party just around Halloween, maybe just on the day of Halloween. Perhaps they can do something cool that day. That would just be an idea there. Disney also said, quote, "Looking ahead to the holiday season, this may spark questions about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and the Epcot International Festival of the Holidays, which includes the Candlelight Processional. We are monitoring our new environment closely and will make a decision on these events as we continue to learn more from government and health officials." I think here Disney is specifically naming these events to try to set expectations for guests that these might not be happening this year. We're already looking at these events as possible future cancellations. We'll just have to wait and see. In more positive developments in the post, Disney announced that the day Epcot returns on July 15th, a new festival will be starting up, the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. Now you might be saying, isn't that usually a fall festival? Yes, but see, Epcot is very short on offerings right now, as you can imagine. And to get a little more technical with you here, I think the reason Disney is doing this is because given the parks will be reopening with drastically lower park capacity, lower crowds than before, it is absolutely crucial that Disney maximize how much each guest spends on their reserved day. So when it comes to Epcot, the prime way you improve guest spending is you have a bunch of food booths out where you can get all sorts of little eats. They're very quick, they're very available, and they're also priced in a way where I think Disney does make a lot off of them. And that, I think, is a major driving factor behind Disney announcing here that they will be offering 20 signature global marketplaces when Epcot reopens. That's a pretty amazing turnaround from the park being completely closed, basically a giant crater, to having this many booths set up and running when it reopens, although technically it'll still be a giant crater. WW Magic got some aerials where you can spot some of the booths from above that have already been installed there, so it looks like it's already all coming together for Epcot's reopening. I think it goes without saying I'll be there to cover all of this for you in person, tell you how things are going all across Walt Disney World when it does reopen. When the parks reopen, I'm going to be taking the vlogs and documenting everything going on in the parks very seriously, because I think it remains to be seen right now whether it's worth going to Disney this year with things like no fireworks, no meet and greets, and very strict social distancing guidelines. So I will be right here on this channel giving you as much as possible to help you make an informed decision if you have some money to spend on a trip. If you'd like to see what happens with the reopening and also want to get all the information on what's happening with the single tickets, hotel reservations, and annual pass holders with that new parks reservation system, as soon as we get the news, be sure to subscribe with those notifications on, because there's definitely a lot on the way, and I'll be covering everything going on for you guys in extreme detail. I am very excited. A little bit of extra late breaking news here for you guys. Disney has just unveiled on their website on an info page the new reservation system. It's called the Disney Park Pass system. On the page, it's detailed that park hopping is no longer a thing, not so long as this sort of system is in place. Reservations begin in a couple of days. People can start going in and make reservations for the parks if they have an existing stay, a hotel reservation, and then that'll be followed by annual pass holders and then ticket holders who get to make reservations starting next week. I'll have another video up for you guys very soon as we get more info here. Everything we know so far, I put into an article for you on our new website, mickeyviews.com, that I've been working on in quarantine here. Link in the description below for that. I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching from the Mickey Views Magic Studio. This is Brayden. Have a magical day.